Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a whole new episode, Full Steam Ahead. I'm your host, Zoe. On the other side are my boys, Enrique and Cantu.
How's it going?
This is episode 99. We are close to 100. Our next one will be 100 episodes, which is a milestone for all of us here. But who wants to talk about that? What do you got behind you right there, Enrique? Tell us what is that you're holding?
This is just a really cool tool to be used not only in your household activities, but also in certain baseball fields. I got one here. It's a broom. It's fantastic. The Astros did a good job this week. But also, what's better than one broom is a dose. Okay. So, hey, it is what it is, man. The Astros are rolling, so I'm fired up. I got these bad boys here, and just wanted to say we are sponsored by Cedar. That is not true. That is not true. This is the brand I got here.
Wait.
Yeah, I don't know.
We are not sponsored.
We're not sponsored. We're not sponsored. We're not sponsored.
Man, we're about to get fined.
I
We're about to get a letter in the mail.
I don't even know if that's the actual brand. So,
But yeah, like you said, not just one, but two sweeps. Perfect homestand, 6-0 homestand. Record goes to 27-19. They're still second behind the Rangers, who had won yesterday's game as well, and they're 9-1 their last 10 games, which is really remarkable for the Astros. Angel, Enrique already told me he already brought two brooms. He already said a sweep. Give me that one word. Tell me how you're going to describe this series against the Oakland Athletics.
It was a superlative series. The pitching was great. The offense scored runs, and Jose Altuve is back.
Yes.
Right on.
Yeah. Now, I think you got that from Webster's dictionary. I like it.
Of course.
That's definitely an SAT word. That was very good. I like that.
Yes, it is. But before we get started, we have Astros Roundup. Then we'll go with a preview. We'll talk about a little bit of the Astros pitching as well. I mean, they've been remarkable for them, even the starters and the bullpen themselves, offensive and pitching MVPs with our hot takes. And then we'll go around the league. And then also, we have a bobblehead that just came out this weekend. We will rate it. But first, let's get on with our shout-outs. We had asked y'all, but I think there was only one guy that had said Kyle Tucker for a shout-out. So real quick, we'll start off with Kyle Tucker on the right foot. He went 3 for 10 this series, 300 batting average, 4 RBIs, 1 walk. I believe he had a home run as well. His last 7 games, 1 home run, 8 RBIs. Could this be the guy that gets the first 10-year contract in Astros history? What do y'all think on that? Anyone.
Hey, look. Let me go. When Kyle Tucker came up, I wasn't sure. I'm going to be quite honest. I wasn't sure. I just knew that he was an athletic dude, very good at what he does. And slowly but surely, I have become a super Kyle Tucker fan. And I really believe that he is somebody that needs to get that opportunity to be signed for a long-term deal with us, because he is just such a good player, man. He's getting better and better every year. And like I was texting you guys throughout the Cubs series, and I was like, man, our lefties can hit lefties, and Kyle Tucker can hit lefties. I mean, throw a right-handed guy, not afraid. Throw a lefty guy, not afraid. As you saw with the Cubs, walk off. They brought a lefty, took care of Alvarez, even though that was a tough out. Then Tucker takes care of business. But I really think that he's a guy that needs to get a very, very nice, considerable agreement here for the long term, because he's the next guy after Bregman. He's the guy. So I really think that we should get him done, sealed, and done. So that's all I gotta say.
I agree with Enrique. I mean, we have that big Oxy sign, Oxy on the patch. I mean, they gotta start paying up a little bit more to get Tucker going, but I can see it happening.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you read over the stats last episode that he's hitting over 300 against the lefties.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really remarkable when it comes to lefty. Like, same thing as Alvarez. And now I'm already going to talk about Alvarez as my next shout out. 4 for 11, 364 average, a double, home run, 2 RBIs, a walk. He even showed the speed on the base. He came from third base, running to home on a wild pitch. So just like Kyle Tucker, the other lefty on the other hand, Alvarez, I mean, he's really the key piece to that lineup. That's why James Click last year had given him that contract, and I thought it was a great contract. If you're a Nationals fan, to see that, if you break it down and everything like that. And Alvarez was comfortable being in Houston as well. But lefties, like you were saying, Enrique, it does not matter to these guys. Alvarez and Tucker, they could just do whatever they want. But guys, I already threw out my hitters. Any of y'all want to throw out a shout out?
I can go ahead and start with starting pitching because it was unbelievable. Guys, guess how many walks our pitchers allowed in all 3 games?
How about
Zero.
I was gonna say
Zero. And that was a big factor when we're talking about Hunter Brown is his command. That's what we focus on. That's when he's been struggling as command. And both Brandon Bielek and Hunter Brown showed that command. And they did really well. Both had career nights. Both had 9 strikeouts to pass their career high. But just go a little bit more specific. Brandon Bielek, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, and 9 strikeouts, which we said was a career night for him, and he gets his first W of the season as well. I think he's pitching to some bad luck where the Astros offense couldn't give him that run support, or he went like about 4 2/3 or 4 1 or 4 1/3. But he did amazing this time around. Hunter Brown, even better, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 run, only 1 earned, no walks, and 9 strikeouts. He is now 4 and 1 of the season, and again another career mark. And then the franchise. Unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
What a rebound from last game. Again, we told y'all last week it's the jersey. He can't pitch until he needs his Navy with tequila sunrise on the side. A complete game shutout, which is only his second career complete game shutout. 9 innings pitched, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, and 7 strikeouts. This is actually the 3rd time in his career that he's thrown a complete game against Oakland as well. So he's definitely had their number.
Hey, Angel, I'm telling you right now, what you just described, the biggest thing that stood out to me was you're absolutely right. If you don't think that a part of him sees that jersey, right, and doesn't feel like a little extra confident, you have sadly mistaken, because he's definitely right now probably just thinking, oh, the Navy jersey, fantastic. Or he probably has a say. He's probably, hey, Skip, I'm starting. I need that Navy tequila sunrise. Let's just get it done. No problem. You know, I'm telling you, because if he's rolling the way he is, he can do whatever he wants.
Oh, for sure. And then, so just tell us even more how great. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we do that,
let me add on real quick before Enrique gets his shout out. I was saying last episode, Framber has success against Oakland, and he pitches. His longevity throughout that game goes, and it shows that the first outing against Oakland in his career, 9 innings. Second outing against Oakland, 8 innings. Third outing against Oakland, 6 innings. And not my mistake. It wasn't career. This was back in 2022. This is his first time playing against Oakland. Boise go 9 innings, a career shutout, like you're saying, Angel. I mean, let's face Oakland majority of the season. Why not at this point?
I think everybody wants to face Oakland.
Everybody wants to face Oakland. I'm just happy they're in our division, so let's just face them as much as possible.
Exactly. But go ahead, give us your shout out, Enrique.
Hey, shout out for me is seeing the captain, the man of this era, Jose Altuve. It's so good to see him be back in the lineup. The fans were excited about having him back. You could feel the energy in the building today. But just happy to have him back, playing good defense already, making a top 5 player some of the last couple of days, and also just hitting a nice bats today, hitting bullets to the right side, and just his presence is known, and I just feel like that clubhouse is definitely excited to have him back.
Yeah, I feel like everybody just feeds off his energy as soon as he enters the clubhouse. Like we were saying, he's that leader of that team, even though I don't think he's like more outspoken, but just being there just shows how much he means to not just the team, but the lineup as well, because he's your table setter, and he's done a great job ever since George Springer has left that spot, and he's taken over the Astros, taking them in the 2021 World Series and even in 2022 as well. So, yes, very great shout out right there, like you were saying about Jose Altuve, because right now they're undefeated, 3-0 with him in the lineup.
That's right.
So
that's right.
That's a good sign. But before we're talking about offense with Altuve being back, Alvarez, Tucker, and Angel. You were reading about the starting pitching. Let's talk about the Astros pitching, because they are in a great start so far this season with the injuries coming from Jose Urquidy, Luis Garcia. You lost Justin Verlander last year. I mean, the list goes on. They've lost a lot of notable starters. Garrett Cole, Charlie Morton. You got Lance McCullers Jr. too. That's on the IL right now. Astros pitching right now. It leads MLB with a 3.26 ERA. They have given the fewest earned runs with 145. They rank 5th in strikeouts in Major League Baseball with 438 strikeouts. Hunter Brown, Framber Valdez, and Christian Javier are tied in the rotation with 4 wins. Of course, the other 2 notable guys that are not going to be on there is JP France and Brandon Bielak. But Framber, on the other hand, he leads the rotation with 72 strikeouts, has a 2.45 ERA after that fantastic start that he had pitched against the A's last night. And then let's get a little bit more into depth with, we talked about the starters. Let's talk about the bullpen because that's what helped the Astros get to the World Series and deep into the postseason last year. Their bullpen ranked second in MLB with a 2.95 ERA, just shy away from the Yankees being first, with them being 2.94. They are tied for first with fewest hits in Major League Baseball, 124 with the San Diego Padres and Minnesota Twins. They lead MLB with a 117 whip and giving the fewest earned runs with 52. So three notable guys I see in that bullpen. Of course, you have Ryan Presley, you got the Ryan Staniks, Rafael Montero. Right now, it's Brian Abreu, Phil Maton, and Hector Neris. So Brian Abreu, 22 games, 121 ERA. He's only given up 11 hits, 3 earned runs, 36 strikeouts.
Wow.
That's the guy right there that
That's
you
a big
want.
stud.
Yes, that's the guy you really want in a high leverage situation. Then you got Phil Maton, the guy that just comes in from the bullpen, comes on the mound with no emotions or anything like that. I'd say he's the pitching of Kyle Tucker right there.
I was just thinking the same thing.
You
Right now,
have
not gonna
to. 19 games, a 0.82 ERA, 10 hits, 2 earned runs, 22 strikeouts. That is really fantastic. And then the last one is Hector Neris, which he's done a really great job too. 19 games, a 1.80 ERA, 9 hits, 3 earned runs, 23 strikeouts. And like I said, this was the bread and butter for the Astros last year in that postseason run to the World Series as well. Obviously, they had that combined no-hitter with Christian Javier and the rest of the guys. But Rafael Montero is down right now. Ryan Stanek is down right now. Ryan Presley, too, hasn't been like the lockdown Presley we know. So it just shows, like, if one person's down or the other person, if there's a lot more people down, the bullpen guys are still going to pick you back up. And that's what, it just showing right there, reading off the stats, that this bullpen's not going anywhere and it's still the same. Do y'all have any other intake on this, just, how the Astros pitching has been this start?
Yeah, I can go. I can go real quick, and then Enrique, if you got something. I feel like this just tells you two things: either how great Martin Maldonado is in taking command of that pitching, or that Astros are really great in developing their pitching staff. Because they have guys like J.P. France and Brandon Bielak who had just came in here firing away, just like looking like 10-year veterans. Like it's been pretty good. So I feel like it's just either how great Maldi is or how great that pitching development is.
Let me tell you, I'm going to say that it's a combination of both. I really believe that. I truly believe that the Astros figured out something years ago on how to develop pitchers and develop them the right way. And, you could have even coaching staff that was here from the very beginning exit and the formula is still rolling. So, it is definitely a scenario. That's what I was telling you guys a few weeks back. They've got young guys that they have a lot of confidence in, and they have a lot of confidence in development. And this is an opportunity to showcase that what they're doing and what they're preaching down there as a philosophy, as a culture, as a pitching mentality, that it works. And it doesn't matter really who's the next person up. They're going to do their best. They're going to succeed. And if they don't succeed, guess what? The baton's passed to the next guy, and they're going to continue to be successful. So that's the most impressive part. And I'm telling you, you just rattled off a bunch of stats. So, and this is the thing that's so true, in baseball and as in life, right? There's only two real main things that are going to be guaranteed: death and taxes, right? And the third thing is, if you are going to have a successful career and a successful team, the pitching staff needs to be very, very good. And that correlates exactly what the Astros have been doing for the last few years. So good pitching is going to be good hitters. And if our bullpen is strong, watch out the rest of the league, especially the Yankees.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was worried when Brett Strom had told the Astros they were he was gonna retire, and then next thing you know, he goes to Arizona, and I'm like, oh no. Can the Astros? Because this guy came in with Charlie Morton, he came with Garrett Cole, which them two guys, Garrett Cole wasn't doing that well in Pittsburgh, and Charlie Morton too was still struggling over there with the Phillies before he came to Houston. Same thing with Colin McHugh. Same thing that comes with Dallas Keuchel. Brett Strom was the guy.
The guru.
And then and when he left, I was like, oh no. I don't know if Josh Miller could still continue the success of the Astros pitching staff, or it could
Mm-hmm.
go downhill from there. And
Mm-hmm.
sure enough, Josh Miller has done a fantastic job over there, being able to, get with the players, get with the pitchers, and have a different game plan when they play against their opponents.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
you're right, Zoe. Sorry, Andrew. You're right, Zoe. Because definitely when Strami left, you got a little bit anxious, right? You're wondering, man, he's the guy that is able to get in there, see the data, translate it, emphasize it to the pitchers, being able to apply everything. But it just goes back to that foundation. I really believe that the Astros have struck gold, right? And they know how to use it, and they're not looking back.
No, yeah, definitely. I agree with you 100%. I'm a firm believer that pitching wins championships, and you're right. The Astros have gotten this formula, like you said, to get the pitching staff on the right track. But just moving on, let's look at Jose Altuve. He is back. He had a pretty good debut. Obviously, the first game he went 0 for 4.
Mm-hmm.
First major league series game back. You're gonna get those jitters, the timing. But he went 2 for 9, which is a 222 batting average. He had 4 walks, which is crazy to me because he's such a free swing, such a free swinger, and he likes putting the ball in play before walks. That's good to see, especially as the leadoff guy. Set up guys like Jordan, Tucker, Bray, Bregman, and then he also had 2 RBIs. And then again, this was a historical night for Jose Altuve as well. He ties Jose Cruz with 1,937 hits, which puts him in third in Astros history. So, and I'm sure he might. I don't know. It's gonna be close, but he might pass Greg Biggio. Might be close.
Let's talk about that real quick. Give me your thoughts of will Altuve finish with over 3,000 hits? Go ahead, Enrique. I know you want to say this.
Let me tell you something right now. Okay, Lord willing, if he doesn't get injured, right? God forbid any injuries, no doubt he gets 3,000 hits. No doubt. That guy's been a hitting machine since he got to the league, and he's going to be a hitting machine on his way out. I'm telling you right now. If there's no injuries, there's no doubt in my head. I was talking to Pops as soon as I got y'all's text message about that, about the tie or whatever. I was like, I saw he was actually at the game, and I saw him, and I said, "Hey, Pops, man, yeah, you hear about Altuve?" Like, yeah, I just heard about it, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. And in my mind, I immediately thought to myself, he is going to crush y'all's hits. Like, he is just, he's the type of guy that when he's on, he's full on healthy. He's going to get 200 plus hits a year, man. So it's just that 3,000 marker is going to be quick. We're going to blink, and next thing you know, it's like, oh my God, he's at 2,900. It's going to be like that. I'm telling you.
So I think he's about 1,064. I could be wrong. Like around.
Try to do the math right there.
Do the math. do the math, man. Do the math. Hey,
right.
Okay, if he's at about 1,600 hits away, right, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Just think about it, right? He's got it. Let's say an average is probably about 175, 180 hits, right? Divide that. What do we got? That's what we get. That's the amount of years. Granted, he doesn't get hurt or anything like that, but I still firmly believe he's going to get 100. He'll probably get 150 hits this year, I think. Just because he's so good. Because you know how he goes. He'll go in spurts where it's like 2, 3, 4 hits, 5 hits, 2 hits, 2 hits, 2 hits. Like, it's crazy how much of a functioning and a successful hitter that he is. Because multi-hit games is like us waking up out of bed. It's like it just happens automatically. It's crazy. It's not easy. Don't get me wrong. Just because he's a little bit of a hitting machine, but he makes it look easy. But he's just really good, man. Pound for pound.
Definitely.
Yeah, last year was his first time hitting over 300 since 2018, and I completely agree. If he doesn't get hurt or any setbacks or anything like that, he could honestly hit 3,000 like nothing, and I could believe he could probably hit more than Biggio because Biggio got his 3,000 hit that year. I believe he was going to retire. I'm not 100% sure.
I think you're right.
But he only had 3,064 I think hits. So I feel like like you're saying, if Altuve can stay healthy, there's no doubt he could get it like nothing. So that's my take on Altuve. And of course, if he gets 3,000, he's a Hall of Famer. I think he's a Hall of Famer too, even without the 3,000 hits. But there's debate, of course, with that. Right. We're not gonna go over that. But you know what we will go over? We will go over that preview against the Milwaukee Brewers and the Brew Crew right now. First place in the NL Central. They're 1 game ahead of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the Pirates kind of have slowed down lately. 5-5 in their last 10 games. The last time the Astros played the Milwaukee Brewers, you got to go back in June 2019, 4 years ago, that they played that NL Central team, which back then, I mean, the Astros used to play the NL Central like nothing because they were in the division. But ever since moving to the West, it's been a different story. But let's get that Monday matchup. And this is probably going to be one of the best matchups this series. And it's at 6:40. Christian Javier is on the mound for the Astros, 4-1 with a 3.25 ERA versus Corbin Burns, 4-3 with a 3.48 ERA. And Javier has done really great so far. Last outing versus Chicago Cubs, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Has allowed only 8 hits total in his past 3 outings in May. His first outing in May, 3, second 3, and his past one with the Cubs was giving up only 2. And then on the other hand, you got the former NL Cy Young Award winner, Corbin Burns, who's been a little shaky this year. Last outing at St. Louis, 6 innings pitched, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Left-handed hitters, they have not had success against him, and we got 2 key ones in our lineup being Kyle Tucker and Yordan Alvarez. Corey Burns has a 217 opponent batting average, and then right-handed hitters have done a little decent against him, 266 opponent batting average. But I wanted to dig a little deeper. And last year, I mean, I believe he got second or third in the Cy Young voting, and he had a great year again. In 2022, in his first 9 starts, he had given up 10 walks, 67 strikeouts, 11.23 strikeout per 9 innings, and a 158 walk per 9 innings. And he had 3 double-digit strikeouts in those 9 starts. This year, the first 9 starts, he has 19 walks, 46 strikeouts, an 8.01 strikeout per 9, and a 331 walk per 9 innings. He only has his season high right now is 8 strikeouts. So you've seen the walks increase. You saw the strikeouts go down. So what do y'all think about this Corbin Burns this year? I believe this is a contract year, or the next year will be his when he'll land as a free agent. Obviously, the whole speculation, his little disagreement when it came to the MLB arbitrations and spring training. What do you think about Corbin Burns this year so far? I mean, how did the Astros attack him with he has success against left-handed hitters, but righty being on the other hand, you got Jeremy Pena, you got Jose Altuve, Jose Abreu. What's the key for the Astros to get a dub against him?
Go ahead, Cantu. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say that arbitration hearing has played a big part in his success. I mean, in his downfall this year. Well, I wouldn't say downfall, right? But in his numbers not replicating last year's, because any place you're not happy, especially after that disagreement, it's hard to go out there every 5th day and pitch for that team. But again, he's a professional trying to get a big contract coming in. I would say, just take advantage of mistakes. Corbin Burns is a great pitcher. Again, I think he was top 2 Cy Young. He's been a Cy Young winner. So be aggressive and take advantage of mistakes, as I would say.
I will. The one thing that I will comment on is, you're absolutely right, guys. The arbitration cases, right? Whenever a player has to go through that, you never really want to go through it simply because, for that example, right? There might be an opportunity or a situation where you just get your feelings hurt, to be honest with you, right? You're busting your butt for a team, organization, and sometimes the most ridiculous examples come up of why you're not good, right? So I'm sure that has affected him mentally a little bit, but like how you said, Angela, it's a scenario where he's a professional, he's got to do what he's got to do, and then in this regard, maybe it's just a situation where he's just having an off year. He just hasn't gotten his groove. Simple, but we know that he's a quality pitcher. We know that just because he's had a bad, first month and a half or so of the season doesn't mean that, come June, July, he's the guy of old, right? So it's just something where, the season's ebbs and flows, and he's off to an unlike Burns kind of type of year. So I feel like that he's just got too quality of stuff that if he continues this year, I'm just going to chalk it up to, hey, he had a bad year, and move on, pick up, and keep going.
Yeah, some Cy Young candidates and finalists from last year on a real rough start. You got Alek Manoah, you got Dylan Cease, Sandy Alcantara, Luis Urias. I mean,
even Verlander.
Verlander hasn't been pitching really well over there at Citi Field either. So a lot of starters right now at this moment are struggling. At least Cy Young candidates. But velocity is still there for him. He's still going to be. He's
Yeah.
still that guy, no matter what, for
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
Mhm.
But moving on to Tuesday, you got 6:40 start time as well. JP France is on the mound for the Astros with a 1.0 4.11 ERA, and the Brewers don't have nobody yet to be determined. Wade Miley was supposed to be that starter, but he got caught up with an injury and he landed on the IL. I think the 15-day IL, I'm not mistaken. But JP France, last outing against the Cubs, it wasn't pretty. It was not a pretty debut at Minute Maid Park. He went 3 2/3, 9 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. He didn't end up losing that game because the Astros came back and won that crazy game. But this will be France's third start away from Minute Maid Park. This is his fourth start in his Astros career, and 3 of them are on the road. So maybe he likes being on the road compared to the juice box. You don't know. But Angel, what are we expecting from him? Do you see a bounce back start coming from JP France, or did you see anything that you could catch?
Yeah, I expect a bounce back start. I think in his last start against the Cubs, he was leaving a lot of things high. Like that fastball was high, that off speed was high. So I think if he's able to finish his pitches a little bit more, and like work on the bottom of the strike zone, he should be pretty good. And again, like you said, it was his first start at home. Maybe that crowd noise, it's it's a bigger stadium than the minor leagues for sure. With all those people cheering your name or expecting you to be great again, and it's kind of hard. So he's on the road. I think he'll be. I think he's ready for a bounce back start.
Hey, I agree with that. I think that definitely at this point, right, like you said, it was his first time at Minute Maid Park. He might have had a little bit of jitters, and also the adjustments too. I mean, because Minute Maid Park is a unique ballpark. You got to pitch a little bit, down the zone, make sure that you stay in the ballpark because of that short porch in left field. But I really think that he's shown that he's a professional. He'll make his adjustments the next time at Minute Maid Park. But like you said, Zoe, he might just be more comfortable right now on the road, and it is what it is, man. Get up there, go in someone else's house, and let them know that my mustache runs this place. And that's what it is.
Yeah, some pitchers do like that. They like to go on the road and do fantastic, and then when they just go home, it's a different story. An example is Christian Javier last year, like a 1-something ERA on the road, and being at Minute Maid Park was like a 3-something. So maybe Francis Mustache just loves to be on the road.
Hey,
you never know.
Take the show on the road, man. It's all good.
Exactly.
That soft hotel bed, AC,
No distractions, just
nothing like that.
Here to pitch. I'm here to pitch,
But for Wednesday, we have an early start time. That one's going to be 12:10. You got Brandon Bielak on the mound for the Astros, 1-1 with a 2.89 ERA. He will be going against Adrian Hauser. He is 0-0 with a 3.07 ERA. Bielak, last outing versus Oakland, like we were saying, Angel was saying 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks. No walks, actually, 9 strikeouts. Career high in strikeouts as well, as you were saying. But, I mean, last 4 starts have been very impressive. If you're an Astros fan, you got to be impressed of the outings that Brandon Bielak is giving you if you are a fan of the Houston Astros. San Francisco, he came into that game when Luis Garcia was hurt, and he was literally called that day, if everybody remembered. He only allowed 2 earned runs. I think that was a 4 1/3 start. Seattle goes over there to Pacific Northwest, allowed 2 earned runs. Chicago White Sox allowed 1 earned run, and then goes against Oakland with 1 earned run as well. So, like I said, I'm going to keep preaching this. He's not your Cy Young. He did pitch like a Cy Young, though, that last out, again, 9 strikeouts. But he's going to give you a chance to win the ball game. So, Enrique, what can you say about this job that, a guy coming from the farm in AAA, he does have some MLB experience, but not a lot, getting the job done and being able to, bounce back on this starting rotation?
I think he's just the example of what we talked about earlier. Just somebody that's got the opportunity. He's taking the information. He's taking anything that is going to benefit him to help the team out, and he is succeeding with it. So he's taken it and he's just flat out run away with it. I think the last start with the 9 strikeouts is huge for him. It's a confidence boost. It's almost like a definite solidification of, hey, you know what? I'm here. I'm busting my butt. I'm helping my team, and I'm going to continue to do what I got to do. And his confidence has to be through the roof right now, and I'm fired up for him. I'm excited for him. As a former player myself, I mean, just the fact that he's getting this opportunity and doing and take care of business, it gets me jacked up. And also, I think we talked about how he didn't even have a glove. I still got some gloves ready for him, but I'm sure by this point, he's ready to rock and roll. But I'm just super happy for him, honestly. And I wish him continued success for the rest of the year, not only because he's on our team, but just as an individual to come through like that and just get an opportunity to re-engage in the big leagues and be successful, it's awesome, man. Good for him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Go
definitely.
ahead, Angel. Go
No,
ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I mean,
Oh,
you got
okay.
to add on.
Oh, my bad,
Go
my bad.
ahead. Go ahead.
Come
Go
on,
ahead.
Angel.
Okay,
Come on.
so BDEC has been great. I even picked them up in fantasy league. Gave me a great start.
Here we
But
go. And hold up. Breaking news. Angel picks up
Oh!
another fantasy player from the Fantasy Baseball League on ESPN. There is your breaking news of
you
fantasy
know,
baseball on the podcast.
and he was my hot take. I had that Brandon BDEC pitches his first quality start of the season. He was an inning shy, but it was phenomenal. Like the whole pitching staff was there, and the crazy thing is that he's only allowed 2 runs or fewer. Like that's pretty fantastic because it's hard to pitch in this league. Like those guys are professional hitters; they make their adjustments as well. That just goes to show how great his stuff has been of late.
Yeah, I mean it is like you said. You picked him up on fantasy, and I mean he did a great job for your pitching staff over there. So, yeah, like you said, another breaking news. But on the other hand, you got Milwaukee Brewers starting pitcher Adrian Hauser. Started the season on the IL dealing with a groin injury and was activated off the IL on May 7th. So he's only had 3 starts. His last outing against Tampa Bay, though, at the Trop, he did really well. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. But the 2 previous starts before that, he had only pitched the 4th inning. And, of course, it could be because he's coming back from the IL. Of course, he's only thrown 80 plus pitches. He has yet to get to 90 pitches as well. Has a 5 pitch arsenal: sinker, 4-seam, slider, changeup, curveball. But we're going to see the sinker and the 4-seamer more than any other pitch. Sinker has a 35.1%, while the 4-seam fastball has a 30.9%. When it comes to his 4-seamer, he likes to throw it inside to left-handed hitters and the outside corner to right-handed hitters. So it's going to be interesting to see what he's going to be able to do coming off the IL. This will be his 4th start compared to like other starter that's coming from 9 and 10 and 8 starts. But them are pitching matchups for the series against the Milwaukee Brewers, and we'll just have to see what happens from there.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for those insights. Now it's time for our offensive pitching MVP and our hot take. I went up again. Valdez hit, of course. Brandon Bielek was inning shy, and then Bregman had like 2 hits this series. So it wasn't so good, but I'm trying to pick it up offensively. So that is why I got the the little giant Jose Altuve for sure. I feel like again he had a pretty good series against Oakland. I know he's ready to get back. I know he's ready to help this team. So I think I'll take Altuve as my offensive MVP. And you know, let's keep the train moving. I got Brandon Bielek again for my pitching MVP. I think he can continue his success. And then my hot take: Astros offense out hit the Brewers offense this series.
Okay.
I like it.
So,
All right, Enrique, you want to go next?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay, you want me to go? All right. We got Jeremy Pena was my my other series offensive MVP. He almost had a home run, but
yeah,
that was a great play by Ramon Liriano. I mean, former Astros farm guy right there. But who did I have? Oh, I had Brandon Bielek as my pitching MVP, and he did really well for me. And then my hot take, it was a very, very fire hot take. I had Tucker and Jordan combined for a 500 batting average and with at least 1 home run. They did not go 500. They went like 270 something combined. They did have a home run. Both of them actually had a home run in each game. So I wouldn't even count that, but
they had hits when it mattered. That's
yes, like you said, it really mattered. That's why they were the shout outs of this series. But it's a new one. Here I go. Kyle Tucker's going to be my offensive MVP. Like I was saying, that last 7 games, a home run, 8 RBIs. He's looking very comfortable at the plate a little bit more often. And my pitching MVP, I picked him the last time against the Chicago Cubs, but I'm picking him again. I expect a bounce back start from JP France. Maybe he does like just being on the road. So we're going to stay with him. I got full confidence in that stash of his. And then the hot take, Astros will hit 1 home run in each game. They're going to show that power. And even off of a good starting pitcher like Corbin Burns, I think they will still hit a home run in each game of this series.
I love it, man. I love, man, the mustache love that you give is just
I
outstanding,
mean,
man.
I kind of have a little, but it's not like JP Francis that goes all the way down here, man.
Hey,
I
so
gotta shout him out.
my question to you
Oh, I love
is: you're getting married next week. Are you shaving the stash or are you keeping it?
No, we're keeping it. I just don't look right without it. I
it.
gotta keep it. I gotta keep it.
That's
Oh
awesome.
man.
I guess for me, let's see, the offensive MVP that I am going for in this series. You guys are gonna love this. Okay, I think I got a good vibe. You got 2 knocks today. I'm gonna go with Machete Maldonado. Let's just go with it. He's gonna show up.
Mr.
He's gonna get a couple.
Machete. Let's
He's
go.
gonna get 2 to 4 hits this series. It's gonna be fantastic. He's gonna be a leader behind the plate. He's gonna be a leader on the base pass when he's on there. He's gonna do everything, man. So I'm gonna go with him as the MVP, offensive MVP. The pitching wise, I'm gonna go with Christian Javier. I think he's gonna have a great start on Monday, and I think he's gonna set the tone real nice for us in Milwaukee. And I really feel as though you may have something. I really think that the hot take is going to be that we're going to have a home run every game. I really believe that. And I really, to double down on my hot take portion of that, is I'm going to say that one of the bombs is going to be Jose Abreu. Just want you to know.
It's time.
El Cubano, El
time.
Cubano's
It is
going
time.
deep.
It is
Yeah, he's
time for
going
this
deep.
man. It's
Yeah,
just
it's a
time,
great
man.
ballpark to do it. Great ballpark to do it. Ball carries well. I really think that he's going to get it done, and he's going to hit one of those awesome missiles into the I don't know, maybe in the slide, but at least somewhere in that direction. And someone's going to have to bob and weave and drop their beer to try to catch it. So I'm excited for him, and I can't wait for this series to start because it really is. It's a fun ballpark to hit in, and I just think that our guys like Tucker and Jordan and Altuve and Bregman too, man, their whole lineup is going to have an opportunity to be successful in a nice hitter's park that's outside of Minute Maid. So I'm excited for the series.
Yeah, hopefully. Go ahead.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see Jose Abreu hit that slide over there in Milwaukee. That'll be pretty great to see.
Yeah, Oppo. That'd be great. Yeah, actually, Abreu is just gonna. I got a feeling.
Just the other thing too, if he hits it to the Bernie Brewers slide, everybody would be like, okay, where has that power been throughout this whole season? But I mean, me and Angel already picked him as our hot take for getting that first home run. Hopefully, it hits for you.
Yes, it's gonna happen, baby. I'm gonna text you guys immediately when it does. I'll be like, boom.
And if it does, go drive to Louisiana and go.
That's
hit
about to say,
those
put a parlay. Put a parlay. Go get a lottery ticket. Go get something out there that's gonna make you hit that lotto because Jose Abreu hitting a home run. Yeah,
it's gonna happen, baby. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be this series. You watch.
But moving on to around the league, and this has been the talk of the town. The talk of MLB are the Yankees again cheating? Again, like it goes back to it goes back to years ago. You know, they used to have fun with the needle. Now they're having fun with the little sticky stuff. But this time, Clark Smith gets warned and has to wash his hands because he has some sticky stuff in his hand. Again, David Bell gets ejected because they don't get much clarity with the umpires. But this is the third time it's happened to New York alone. Last time we recall, Domingo Germán gets ejected. That's after in his previous start or a few previous starts before he gets told to wash his hands. And then I don't think Scherzer was allowed to wash his hands, and he got ejected out the way. So my question to you is, does MLB need what does MLB need to do to get a grip on this situation? It's like some people get to wash it off, others get ejected right away. Like what needs to happen?
They need to set a precedence, man. And unfortunately, they're setting the wrong one at this point. They're basically letting people know that the Yankees can put their hand in the cookie jar and get away with it, and nobody else can. You know, so and it's just unfortunate that some organizations can be allowed to do that, and while others get reprimanded. So I just think that they probably are trying to figure out exactly what to do, but they just aren't sure what to land on specifically. But definitely, we've already had this discussion. I feel like, though, it's like, hey, you get caught with sticky stuff, you get ejected. So why the hesitation? Aside from having an NY in your jersey and your hat, I don't know what could be. But it's a scenario where if you get caught with it, just get ejected. That's it. There's no questions about it. It's just like balls and strikes. You don't argue about it. If you do, you're gone. Plain and simple. So What the suspension may look like, who knows? But something needs to happen quickly before it gets out of hand.
Well, Domingo Herman got ejected. I mean, I'm sorry, got suspended 10 games and had
Oh.
an undisclosed fine. We don't know how, like, the dollar amount on that. But Zo, did you want to add something to it?
Yeah, I mean, too, just to add a little bit more. I mean, it's been the New York team's period. Domingo Herman twice, and then Karl Schmidt getting, like you were saying, a slap on the hand kind of thing, and then Max Scherzer. I believe he had time to go get,
Okay.
to wash it off and things like that, but apparently the stickiness wasn't coming off of his hand. I don't know if it's only in New York, because I'm trying to think in my head what other teams are having this, similar situation. And it's only been, I know for sure it's only been the Yankees. This is the third time that it's been happening to them, and the Mets being with Max Scherzer. So I mean, I'm like you're saying. I mean, they really got to crack down on this, and they really got to be really disciplined on it. I mean, you just can't just say, "Oh, okay, well, go wash your hands." I mean, you put a rule in there for a reason. Well, enforce it. Don't just say, "Oh, well, next time just wash your hand." No, no, no. You do it like that. Just automatic ejection. So I mean, because if that's going to happen, more teams are going to continue to do this on.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
yeah,
that's my
like
take.
there definitely has to be some consistency around the league. Like both of y'all were saying, where if it's sticky, it's you're gone. And I know Max Scherzer had the argument that rosin and sweat causes it to be sticky, but I think that's two different things. I feel like even like the color's different, the way it feels is different. So like I feel like, and then the umpire for Domingo Herman said that was the stickiest he'd ever seen, which was crazy unbelievable that he even got the chance to wash it off in the first time, and then still comes back and then finally gets ejected after the second time, which is, again, there just needs to be some consistency there.
What's so interesting, man, is that these guys, I don't know exactly what they're using, right? I mean, especially since I wasn't a pitcher, but the only sticky substance that as a hitter, right, you've got the pine tar and whatnot, right, and the spray. And I tell you what, anytime that I've experienced that stickiness, I mean, even washing it off, it's still sticky. It takes some time. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not a scenario where if I was to go to the bathroom and get told, hey, wash that off, they wouldn't feel it. They would still feel it. So it's like, it's tough. I'm gonna actually do a little due diligence and talk to some of my former teammates that were pitchers and kind of get their 2 cents on that as well. And I'll bring back what I hear to see what they say, because it's interesting to understand the thought process. And I get it to an extent, right? They want to have that feeling. They want to be able to have that grip, right? Because it seems the big leagues are very, very tight.
Yeah.
But and I get it. And let me tell you, with that stuff, the ball does move a lot more with that stuff as well. So it is an advantage, but I understand why, in their perspective, they need that feeling of being able to control the baseball better to avoid, potentially maybe, running it up somebody's head or whatever. But it is what it is.
Yeah, and I even think last year, like, there was some talk where guys would use sunscreen, like to like help, like blending with the sweat and then with the rosin, it was just giving like a little better feel for that. Yeah, but again, definitely there has to be some consistency around it. It'll be interesting to see how MLB handles this case and future cases to come. But Dodgers fans lose, or the Dodgers lose two big arms. Julio Urias and Dustin May are both placed on the 15-day DL with arm injuries. So should Dodgers fans be worried, or what do you think might happen with the Dodgers? I know that they're promoting their top pitching prospect to fill in one of those rotation spots, but I mean, give us your input on that. Anybody can go first.
I mean, the only thing that I can say is I don't know too much about their farm system, right? But it's unfortunate to lose two of those. Those guys are horses, man. They're quality pitchers. I mean, whenever you lose two guys like that, you're definitely going to hurt a little bit. I just don't know if they have the opportunity to have young guns like how we do in our system, where we can just plug and play somebody and they'll do the job. So, it's unfortunate for them. But I'm sure that they have enough quality people there that can, be a nice little, placeholder, but it's just tough to replace those two guys. So I'm not sure the type of injuries, but it's unfortunate for the Dodgers, and, but I'm sure that they're so loaded offensively that I'm sure they'll be able to, win some games despite the lack of those two arms.
Yeah, Urias has a left hamstring strain, and I think Dustin May, I believe, has a flexor, his right flexor strain. I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, this guy just got Tommy John too, just last season, I believe. And then you lose an arm like that. That's pretty. I mean, his 2-seamer, 4-seamer run big time.
Nasty. Yeah.
And Julio Urias, I mean, he led. I don't know. Me and Angel talk about. I think it's either strikeouts or ERA last year in the National League. So, I mean, he was a big guy for them last year because, of course, you got Walker Buehler still out. He'll be out for this season too. You're relying on a veteran that is 40-something years old and Clayton Kershaw. That's your only guy you could really rely on. And of course, I'm being unbiased. I mean, he's really done well. I was shocked that he's still pitching at a Cy Young performance that he is, especially at the age that he's at. But if my take, like I said, being unbiased, I'm a Dodgers fan. I kind of going to be worried because you don't know if that top prospect of yours is going to do well. They had another prospect that they had thrown about a couple of weeks ago. His last name was Stone, and it wasn't a promising start for him. And like you were saying, Enrique, I mean, they don't have the young arms like the Astros do in their farm system and the depth that they have. So you got to think about too. The Rockies are kind of on they're not playing bad baseball. And then plus you got the San Diego Padres, which with them too, I mean, it's been a crazy season so far for them.
Yeah, and don't forget Arizona, who's in second place. Like, I think they're only about 2 games off the Dodgers. So, I mean, they're around hunting the Dodgers for sure. And we forgot to mention this on top of the broadcast. We had speaking of pitching, Lance McCullers. There's been an update. I think he's projected to come closer to the All-Star break is when they're thinking he'll be activated. So closer to the All-Star break, Lance McCullers is expected to be back. And I mean, like we mentioned in the last podcast, he's been throwing off flat ground. He threw his off speed and he threw off the mound. A little bullpen sesh. He was getting his fastball, 2-seam and sinker, and change of mix in. So he'll be back hopefully by the All-Star break. But speaking of veterans, some of these veterans have been designated for assignment. Chicago Cubs first baseman Eric Hosmer on Friday was designated for assignment. He actually got picked up, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, by the Padres. So
wow, he went back to San Diego?
I think I saw that. Let me, yeah.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, check for me, fact check it. Like I saw it scrolling on Twitter, so I could be wrong, but that's what I saw. And then New York Yankees designated for assignment outfielder Aaron Hicks on Saturday.
I saw that.
Yeah, and then the Los Angeles Angels second Ohtani, Brett Phillips, who has been known for coming in on the mound when it's a blowout game. He's been designated for assignment as well. I think he was actually an Astros prospect that we traded to get Carlos Gomez to Milwaukee. And I mean, he's been around the league for a while, jumping from teams to teams. But yeah,
I don't see nothing that says
so
Hosmer.
It might have been like one of those fan posts again.
Was it fake Twitter? Was it fake Twitter?
Probably,
right there?
yeah.
Probably.
You got baited. You got baited. Fake Twitter.
I got facts by fake Twitter. Yeah, there you go.
See, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You can't always believe what's on Twitter.
Don't believe what's on the internet, guys. Sorry.
Hey, but hold on, but time out. Just for clarity's sake, did Eric Hosmer really get designated for assignment though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Man, that's wow, man. Wow. Man, interesting.
Yeah, but before we end our show, there was a bobblehead that was given out this week. I'm pretty sure a lot of Astros fans were out there to grab it. I believe this was the second one. First one being Jeremy Pena MVP. We did a rating on that one. Oh, this is the third one, Framber Valdez's. That one's been the best one so far, I would say. But Kyle Tucker, Gold Glove bobblehead. This is how the box looks. It got this little stat right there. He's the third outfielder in Astros history to have a Gold Glove behind Cesar Cedeno and Michael Bourne. So, fellas, we are opening it real quick, and we will give a rating. A lot of people have been giving this an 8, a 9, and we even had some 10s out there that was, that was a pretty decent one. But this is how it looks. It has the gold right there on his glove. Got the gold base, which is pretty nice. Of course, he's at the wall, robbing a home run, probably Aaron Judge's home run because of the wind. But I mean, what are we thinking? How are we gonna rate this one, fellas? What do y'all think? What's y'all perspective on this one? Give me a 1 through 10, 10 being the best looking one that you've seen this year.
Go ahead, Angel.
I would say give me a 9. I like Framber's bobblehead, just a tad bit better. It has that 25 consecutive quality starts, but this is a great bobblehead. I am a fan of the Gold Glove, and then
Mhm.
it kind of gives me like the Josh Reddick bobblehead where he's like leaning on the wall again. But I like it. Like, give me a 9 on that one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I was actually going to say about an 8.5. I think it's quality, but I think it could have been a little bit better. But I just got high standards when it comes to that bobblehead stuff. But I like I told you guys off the air here, I would have preferred the catch, the last out for the World Series as the one. At that point, just for the nostalgia of it all, I probably would have given it a 9. But I think it's still quality. So good for him, and awesome that we have those Gold Glovers, and to be in that with Michael Bourne and whatnot. That's pretty sweet, man. Good for him.
Yeah, I'll go 8.5 on this one too. I like it, but like Angel said, I love that Framber one. That one's probably the best one so far this season. I think the next one they're giving out is an Alex Bregman jump throw bobblehead. I can't remember what it is, but it will be a Breggy bomb one. But 8.5, we're looking at 8.5, 9 right here. But other than that, boys, that is it for today's show. Fellas, y'all have anything else before we sign off?
I got one thing to say.
Go ahead.
I want to send a special shout out to my big bro, Jose Cruz Jr., who has led the Rice Owls to their conference tournament this weekend. They just snuck in with the 8th spot, and it's been a up and down season for the Owls, but they've shown some awesome promise, and it's exciting times now. So once you're in the tournament, hey, all bets are off. We'll see what they can do, and rooting for him and rooting for the Rice Owls. So congratulations, big bro, and go Owls, hoot 'em. And also, and also my teammate Paul Yanish, congratulations as well. The whole staff as well. So those guys are just great.
That's awesome, man. I believe you said they're coming to the regional will be at Reckling Park, correct?
Yes, that's right. So the conference, so Conference USA tournament is hosted here. It's all good. It's being hosted here at Rice. So come on out, support the Rice Owls. They play their first game on Wednesday, so it's going to be an exciting time, and hopefully the Rice Owls can ride it high. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that'll be some exciting baseball, and I love watching college baseball because it's like the passion those players show. It's like they're playing for something bigger than themselves when it comes to college like college baseball. It's a really great environment, really great atmosphere.
And if you haven't been to Reckling Park lately, man, you'd love it. I mean, the turf looks fantastic. That's the biggest Old English R you'll ever see on a field. And it's fun for families. There's plenty of areas on the sides and left field line, right field line, to have some beverages and food. So it's a really cool environment. It's going to be great. So the only thing that's going to be a little bit difficult, it's going to be a little bit hot. So make sure you bring plenty of spray or whatever to keep yourself warm. But let's go Owls.
Yeah, maybe they can make another run. 20-year anniversary of the
my gosh,
first
that
and
would
only
be phenomenal. Brother, let me tell you, Zoe, that happened. I will storm the field. Okay, I will jump on the field and tell security, my bad. What happened? What I thought I was no. This is not good. This is not a thing. We can't do this. Okay, my bad. Yeah.
hey, the head coach is my brother. So
that's right. Hey,
you hold.
That's my pass right there. Okay, come on, man.
But yeah, I mean, good luck to Rice. I mean, I think Houston too is playing. I'm not 100% sure they're playing still. A&M, I don't know if they'll be playing in the SEC. I'm pretty sure they'll play in the SEC because they had some big wins against Kentucky. I think they dropped the Mississippi State series. I'm not 100% sure, but any Texas team really out there in college baseball, like Angel said, college baseball is one of the best atmospheres to be a part of because I mean, like you said, they play more than anything. Like because it could be their last game of their final career in baseball, period. So of course you got to show that emotion and go all out. But continue to follow us at Full Steam Ahead on Twitter, at TikTok. Subscribe to our channel, of course, and then our podcast platforms. You got Spotify, you got Apple, and you got Google. But that is all for today's show. We will talk to y'all later in the conclusion of that Milwaukee Brewers series. Maybe they'll go, they got 7 games in a row, maybe 10 games. Maybe the Astros go 10 games. We'll have to see. But till then, we will talk to y'all later. We will see y'all guys.